Drawn by the constant pull of gravity, Wheeler Creek makes its way into a magical gully. But the creek wasn't always in such good condition. After becoming weed-infested during the development push of the 1950s and 60s, nearby residents have been working tirelessly to restore the area to its original beauty. Ruth Seymour and Joanne Stort live on the edge of Wheeler Creek.
A lot of weeds here, Ruth. Get them out. We've been through here before, but we have to do it again. I really think it's appreciated.
Once a week, they help out with a local community-based bush care project. Their work is watched over by the threatened powerful owl. Due to habitat loss, this master of the night is now rarely seen, and its presence here is testament to the quality of Wheeler Creek's bushland. Ruth and Joanne are two of hundreds of local volunteers who regularly support community bush care projects on the northern beaches. This group meets monthly at Narrabeen Parade in Narrabeen. In less than a year, these volunteers have dramatically improved their local bushland patch. As valued as community volunteers are, a lot of bush care now underway is so complex it has to be left to specialists. Removing weeds from the sides of cliffs and ledges takes a certain kind of training and dedication. The work here will not only open up this rocky cliff for native plants, it will also stop weeds from moving downstream and taking root elsewhere. And it's downstream, in the lower reaches of the catchment, where evidence of the most serious weed infestation becomes most apparent. Here, where the main creeks near the lagoon itself, the flow of water slows. Garbage, pollutants and weeds washed down from suburbs above start to really accumulate. So great is the degradation in some areas, they're now part of long-term management plans developed by Pittwater and Warringah councils. Most of us are familiar with the sight of choking, invading weeds that line the Wakehurst Parkway. It's here that some of the largest amounts of money are being spent, in part funded by a substantial state government environment grant. Over 3 years, the plan is to return Middle Creek to a more natural state.
It's coming down.
Today, Remy Marian and his team are cleaning up a severe lantana infestation. They're building a log platform.
And here if we can find a bit of things to go across.
And will pile the cut lantana on top, then leave it to decay.
If you leave a lantana onto a very moist soil, chances are it will grow. So before we pile it, it's good to raise it a little bit. It doesn't have to be raised by much, just a little bit. And so it stops it from rooting itself into the ground. Good. That's great.
Remy moved to Australia in 1992.
I've always loved being in nature as a kid. I spent most of my life back in France in the bush and the countryside. Since I've been in Australia, I just find that the bushland around Sydney is just magical. And there is nothing like that in Europe, where within a major city you can find such beautiful bushland. Ever since I started this job, I do not want to do anything else. I just love it. I love being able to come back from work and feel that I've been doing something that's good and makes me feel happy.
Although these weedy thickets can cause big problems, bush carers can't just come in and tear them out. Often the weeds help to bind creek banks together or provide important habitat for animals. These fairy wrens have made their home in a lantana thicket. So too, a brush turkey is incubating his eggs in a mound largely surrounded by weeds. These are two clear reasons why bush regeneration has to be meticulously planned. Ultimately, it's a practice that's much more tortoise than hare.
It's a slow process because we have to be aware of all the different types of habitats. Every site we work at is different. So we need to do a lot of planning and understanding of where we are working and what we are trying to achieve.
Finally, not far from the lagoon itself, the watercourses form wider creeks and open wetlands. Perhaps the most splendid of these is Deep Creek. And the highlight for wetland enthusiasts lies just over the hill in Warriewood. Bird watchers in particular come here to see the abundance of birds. This group has braved a cool autumn morning to explore with Ricky Coughlin.
We see a bird fly, and when you really think about all of the little miracles that make up the ability for this species to do it and how it got there, it's quite an amazing story and something that you can contemplate endlessly.
One extra special tree, the swamp mahogany, bursts into flower here each autumn. The tree was once widespread across Sydney, and Warriewood Wetlands is one of its last remaining strongholds. The blossoms are a nectar-rich source of autumn food, attracting birds from far and wide. While swamp mahoganies provide their bounty once yearly in autumn, the wetland itself acts as a year-round filter. Excess nutrients and sediments are absorbed here, helping to lower pollution in the lagoon. While such filtering can help a great deal, given the large number of people living around the catchment, pressures remain constant. Apart from weed invasion, one of the most visually obvious symptoms can be seen around the mouth of Middle Creek, where sediment has accumulated.
Well, as kids we used to hire a rowing boat and row right across up to Middle Creek, well up the creek, camp, fish, swim, and just enjoy the wonderful ambience of the creek. These days it's very difficult. I have to drag my boat across the sandbar and you're in danger of running on shoal all the way up the creek.
This kind of narrowing has many causes. Ongoing upstream development is a major factor. So too are high-impact activities like motor and mountain biking. These seriously disturb the landscape. As the quest to look after this special place continues, the teams of bush carers, volunteer and professional, will continue their tireless efforts to improve the local environment.
I believe that bush regeneration is really important because in Sydney we do have this amazing bushland. It doesn't have to be lost. We can get it back, we can protect it, and we are actually getting very good results.
These trees, they're my relatives. The ground is my mother. So from an Aboriginal perspective, caring for country is our way of life. If we don't care for Narrabeen Lake, it won't be there. So we've got to care for that country to ensure that it stays alive and stays vibrant, because we then get connected to country and our life means something. Otherwise we're just going through life and it's computerised, it's robotic.
Whether your connection with this place is, like Dennis Foley's, something spiritual, whether you simply enjoy spending time at the water's edge with family and friends, or whether it's paddling a kayak, there's something here for everyone. David James certainly knows where his heart lies.
Well, I love that rowing boat. It's so voluptuous in its curves. It's got a winegrass stern and a sliding seat. To me, it's the solitude. It's to be out there with the pelicans and the fish. And if I'm lucky, I'll see a cormorant come up alongside me. And the thought comes to me sometimes that beyond the blue waters of thought, that's where you'll find me.
There are many ways you can help care for the Narrabeen Lagoon catchment in your neighbourhood and backyard. Remember, everything you do upstream has an effect downstream. So watch what you put in your garden. The bush doesn't do well if water carries too many nutrients or other chemicals. Excess nutrients in particular cause weeds to thrive and native plants to suffer. It's also best to use local native plants in your garden. They need less fertilizer and make better homes and food for wildlife. Dispose of garden waste responsibly through composting or council green waste pickup. This minimises the downstream risk of weed invasion. And clean up after your dog. Dog poo in particular carries lots of nutrients that are bad for the bush. If you'd like to play a more active role, you can volunteer to help out one of the Ku-ring-gai or Pittwater community bush care groups.